Can I get an amen? Crazy. I was like, well, I see this thing in his sleep. I did not know. First legislation committee? No, it's bad. Interesting.
So we get them all assembled. They hobble in each door, every door. Right? I said, this is how we assemble the board. We hobble in each door. Okay. All the frail are in?
Yes.
think we're ready to roll. Okay, ready? I'd like to call the special session of the Board of Legislature meeting to order. First, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. You may be seated. We have a condensed version of the agenda. So, roll call of members, please.
Legislator Johnson? Here. Nabawani? Here. Monticelli? Here. Drake? Here. Peck? Here. Doldo? Here. Fitzpatrick? Here. Maxson? Here. Hadsett? Here. Cantwell? Here. Reed? Here. Gray?
Here. Privilege of the floor. Would anybody like to address the board? Please step forward, state your name and address. Hearing none. Before we get on with the resolution of the evening, I would just like to take a minute to obviously welcome Dr. Ty Stone, President of GCC. We have Ryan Pichet with us, the Administrator for Lewis County, Steve Todd, OCs. So welcome all. We have interest in this resolution. So we'll begin with resolution number 133.
Authorizing the provision of educational services by Jefferson Community College beyond its sponsorship area through an agreement between College Board of Trustees and the County of Lewis.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. And we will end with resolution 133. So, is there anything else to come before the meeting this evening? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn? Mr. Monticelli, second Mr. Maxson. All in favor? Aye. There we go.
Here, the chairman of the board stuff here. Where is this? Just throw it anywhere. Sorry, I didn't get the signal yet. I didn't get the signal yet from the boss. I know. That's why I did it. How many years we've been doing this? Flag? Thank you. Tori says we can start, so. Good evening. I'd like to call the June 28, 2018 General Services Committee meeting to order. This time, is there any privilege of the floor? Oh, you're not going to speak? You're just going to go there? Okay. We'll wait. We'll wait. Okay. Legislator Fitzpatrick's convalescing. We're glad she's doing well. At this time, are there any additions, corrections, deletions for the minutes? Hearing none, we'll accept those. At this time, we have our yearly presentation from Joel Alone and Larry Danforth from Jefferson Community College Center for Community Studies and the survey results. And we're going to get right into it. So take the floor, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure I have.
I just want to make sure it works. Or, I'll start first again then? Do you think? Or, okay, thank you very much for having us here. And, what a humbling, that was a very nice introduction, but it's a pretty humbling experience. When let's adjourn right before we start. I've been 33 years, I don't think that's happened in any one of my classes or any one of my meetings. So to give you a heads up on what Larry and I hope to do with you tonight is to roll out the results, of course, to our 19th annual Jefferson County Survey of the Community that we do annually. What we're going to do is take you quickly through the methodology. We did email this PowerPoint deck to Tori, so I know it will be available electronically if you like it. And we do also have available, and if I can do it quickly, just help me if I mess up, Larry. Is it opened or no? We have the full report, which may or may not appear up there. It looks like it's trying to down there. All right, let's just say what it's about. So anyway, available, if you contact me, the full report if you want to dig down deeper after the depth that we've done tonight. So please feel free. Anytime in the next half an hour we're doing this, if you want to stop us, dig deeper at that point, and just have a conversation about what you think you see and what we see in the results. That would make it a heck of a lot more, I think, beneficial and enjoyable for us. So I believe most of you would know where the Center for Community Studies started in 1999. We just had our annual board meeting up on campus, rolled the results out to our board, and I'm happy to say that we had our original, well, not the original college president, but the college president in 1999, John Dean, showed up at the meeting, and Richard Halpin, some of you might have met Dr. Richard Halpin in your past. He was the original director of the Center for Community Studies, so they were both there at 3:30 to roll the results out. So that's what we're about at the Center for Community Studies, using any type of methodology that you can imagine. We enjoy trying to do research to benefit us as faculty. Our students, we brought along students tonight, but I hope I can get Madison to speak a little bit later on. With her involvement in this project, there were about 70 students that were involved in the data collection of this. So we find ourselves in benefiting the community, benefiting the college, benefiting the faculty, and of course benefiting the students. And every year in October we do a similar one in Lewis County, and I saw that Mr. Piche left. And we just collected the data last week. The data now just exists uncleansed and on a pen drive right now for St. Lawrence County, asking many of the similar questions. So what you'll see throughout this presentation is the opportunity to see a snapshot of what's true right now in Jefferson County, but also the opportunity to see a motion picture of what does it look like versus what we saw in 1999. And you also have a chance to look cross-sectionally. What does it look like in St. Lawrence County? What's it look like in Lewis County? So when we get to the results, hopefully this will allow us to quickly click through. So please don't hesitate to interrupt them, Joel, at any point in time. This is Larry. Mr. Danforth just came back from the sabbatical at the University of Buffalo for a year, and I'm really glad to have him back, working at the med school down there, teaching statistics there, working with a bunch of urologists, a bunch of doctors, and we are identical staff at the Community Studies. You're looking at it right here. We've got the full staff here tonight. So we do, it would be remiss if we didn't mention that the college, of course, supports this project and this endeavor that we have. And that Larry and I teach two fewer classes each semester to allow us to have the freedom to do this. Carr Freshner generously donated about 15 years ago some funds to the college. That's essentially how we fund it. We do get some money each year from the Development Authority, and we also get some sponsorship each year from the Community Foundation. But the main way that this is funded is the endowment fund. We spent the proceeds from each year. It's done what I believe that the endowment fund is supposed to do. They donated $250,000 15 years ago, and there's still $250,000 sitting right there. So we certainly are very thankful to Carr Freshner. So what is our agenda? What is the study? How do we do it? Why do we do it? And best use. That's going to be me. And then Larry's going to kick in. We talked about some of the highlighted results, and then we'll probably alternate back and forth a bit and try to get Nancy to talk about her analysis that she did as well. So, what is done? Our survey, I put a copy of the survey in front of each one of you. Because as much as I can talk really fast, in 45 minutes it'd be impossible to go through every survey question and take a look at how it's changed since 1999, what is it like in St. Lawrence County. If you did look through that and you saw some community issue or some other long-term track item or some, we asked two sets of questions this year on behalf of local community groups. One on behalf of Hospice of Jefferson County, and the other one on behalf of Friends of Thompson Park. And if some of the slides that we do not answer or do not address one of the questions that you see on there, please don't hesitate. We'll take a look at it. We just picked the ones that we thought were helpful for tonight. There's Taylor. I can't remember who that is right there, but that's our call center is actually right behind that wall. I can see our call center from here. We like the height where no one can find us, but we are actually, I don't know if that's clicker all the way over there, but we are the second floor of the Brown and Abstract building. It originally was Disco and IMC net. It's all wired up with 30 cubicles, and that's where we have the students show up and we do calls all from there. You'll see on the next slide that our methodology includes, we did 575 completed interviews this time. That's the largest we've ever done in 19 years ago. If any of you are familiar and follow any of the Siena Research Institute, they now changed their name. They're now called the Siena College Research Institute. They typically on a statewide poll do a sample size of about 800. And then we typically stratify that with 400 upstate and 400 downstate. And so us having the sample size of 575 we're very happy with. This is hopefully the first of maybe 3 or 4 times you'll hear me say plus or minus 3, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 3%. Because typically our margin of error is about, I never knew I had such a shake. That's really driving me nuts. Not helping me. All right, so typically our margin of error is about plus or minus 4%. Why is it lower this year? Because we sampled almost 600 people. So how does that benefit? Not only does it reduce the margin of error, but it allows us, if this grade wanted us to look at just the results for the people who indicate that there's active military in the household, we'll have a larger subgroup size as a function of taking 600. If Mr. Golda wanted us to look just at the results of people who say they are City of Watertown residents, we have a larger sample size as usual. So that's why we had the workforce available. And by the way, I ask every year, did anybody name their day call? Is anybody one of those 575? Not you, So, you know what? I do remember her saying, is my number right at the top of the list? I don't know if any of you folks in here know Carl McLaughlin, but he's retired. Carl's on our board, and he just said at our 3:30 meeting that he got his cell phone. But he didn't do the survey. He said I was really busy and I couldn't do it. I said, well, that's not very committed. That's about as committed as, I didn't pick on her, but I could pick on other people. That's about as committed as those folks that just took the exam and failed on it. No, it doesn't hurt. Too bad. I'm not. So anyway, that's our methodology. What do you take out of that slide? We did 455 of the interviews via telephone. We did about 150 of them by going up. We got approval to go to the commissary and the PX and intercept sample up there because we do not get the cell phones, the landlines, the emails, or the mailing addresses, or any other contact information for the active military on folks. So fortunately, we have a great relationship with Fort Drum, and we don't want to underrepresent. They represent, as you know, 25 to 30% of the adult population. Well, if they were only representing 5% of our sample via telephone, then why don't we just call it the 19th annual survey of the non-military connected community? So what we did 2 years ago is we said it's time we have to improve and modify our design. So I want you to realize that the 148, I think I put them on the slide somewhere. Well, it's in there somewhere, right there. The 26% were by intercept. So what did we do? A survey with 5 sections. How did we do it? Predominantly telephone methodology, some intercept methodology. Madison, did you go up and do some of the on-post face-to-face with clipboards? So if you have any questions about how that really goes, Madison will get her up there eventually. Why do we do it? We certainly hope that you plan using this data. We hope that you educate, the leadership is educated with it. We hope that the community is educated with it. We hope that you evaluate what has changed, what has worked, what has not worked. And in the perfect world, we'd even love to use this data to get people more engaged. So that's why we do it. And then I finish these little last slides before I get into this laser oscillatory. 28%. I try to do this every year too, just because I like to have puzzles and games and quizzes and scavenger hunts and so on. But I'm not going to hold you hostage. That's what the 28% is. And if I went around right now, starting with the hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and asked the 10 of you, what is your impression when you see that 28%? I would get 10 different responses. Someone might say, wow, that's way low. If they were willing to assume that the other 72% all said 4. Somebody else might say, wow, that's way high. If they were willing to assume that maybe only 1% said 4 and the remaining 71% said fair. The point of these next 5 slides is to try to encourage you. The document is about 120 pages thick. Every single survey question we ask has been analyzed in there with the current results, longitudinal trend results, the regional comparison results, and cross that by if you did want to compare the active military to not. So I don't deny that there's a whole lot of numbers in here. I've never attempted to count how many. That would be a math exercise. But I give you bonus points to count how many numbers are actually in here. But there's a lot of those to say. So what we're trying to do in the next 5 slides is take something that can seem insurmountable and make it become really finite and small. That 28%, what I would do is give 6, not 600, 6 ways that we would look at that 28%. One of them is to look within the response scale. Is it the remaining 72% all said 4, or is it the remaining 72% all said don't know? A well-trained leader and decision maker like all of you are should look within the response. You should also say, the 28% are up. Remember, 28% said availability of good jobs locally are excellent or good. Or has it gone down? What's it like in St. Lawrence County? What's it like in Lewis County? We did 21 indicators. Is that the best or the worst of the 21 or somewhere in between? We also could, if we wanted to be a very target-driven group, we could set a target or a benchmark or a method that we say, you know what, our goals are, you see that 28% go up. I can't imagine you set a goal for it to go down. But a goal for it to go up for something, and then a correlation analysis. So there's 6 of them there. I finished with, well, there's the response distribution, and there's the 28% that said excellent or good. So it wasn't 72% that said goal. Basically, 28% said excellent or good. 29% said 4. I remind you, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 3. And this is very revealing. This is the excellent or good. That 28% is the highest we've ever done. In 18 years, through many recessions in 2001 and 2002, through all kinds of real estate bubbles and techno bubble in the early 2000s, through what we know happened in the late 2000s, through what's happened since the change of administration, that's the highest we've ever quoted. That's the highest we've ever measured. This is the closest we've ever had to having excellent or good surpassed before. And if you compare the 3 counties, you can see amongst the 3 local counties, it is highest in Jefferson County. As much as we might all wish that we made personally more money, well, I think that would be pretty darn natural. It's pretty darn irrefutable from the framing that I'm doing with you right now is if you had a local vote, 575 to evaluate the availability of good jobs locally, I would be making stuff up if I didn't say to you it is on a positive trend. Look at that excellent or good trend. Look at compared to the other 2 counties. And that's a little letter A, even though the grades aren't 3. And what I want you to remember for the rest of tonight is different letters mean significantly different. Same letters mean the same. I'll say that, not statistically significantly different. So what do I see here? St. Lawrence County is clearly at 15%. There's a letter B, A, A. Jefferson and Lewis not different. St. Lawrence, yes, different. My last couple slides are, however, even though I've been trying to influence you on things are looking like a positive trend, we ranked the 21 indicators, and the least positive one was real estate taxes. Right there, it was 30% said for. There's the 29% said for with availability of good jobs. red bars, those are the lowest 6 of what we measured this year. So again, my goal of these 5 slides is to encourage you to dig deeper, look at it, and not just knee-jerk a decision. Take a look at a number and frame it. And then lastly, I circled 2 numbers there that are really hard probably for you to see besides this or that. But, as I slide along that line right there, this is the excellent or good, I'm going across age group. I'm going across income level. I'm going across the gender. I'm going across no college, some college, every career above, active military household, and right there is the group that rates the highest. The group that shows the most optimism in saying availability of good jobs. Now this could be a function of their definition of a good job, the 25-year-old, versus your definition of a good job, but I can see this about a 3-to-1 distribution. The younger age group are 3 times more likely to say the availability of good jobs are excellent or good than they are to say poor. So the conclusion of this little set of slides that I'm giving you right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I do that? I have no idea what I hit right there. 6 different ways. And as Larry talks to you about the numbers, how I encourage you on your free time, at your favorite place, with your favorite music playing, with your favorite beverage, with your favorite people, and you're digging into this, I encourage you to think about, as you see a number, look left, look right, look up, look down, give him an email, and we'll help you frame it really well. So, now we're going to go through the end of the presentation is, what did we really find? Because I've really spent all that time on one single question, availability of good jobs. There were 60 questions on the survey.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is a little bit of the opposite of what Joel showed me one of those top 5. He talked about the fact that availability of good jobs was the second least positive rating, the second most negative, the second highest poor rating. This slide shows what the top positive ratings. And what we can see is the top rated is access to higher education. 74% of the people that we talked to rated the access to higher education in the county to be in that education. And that was, if you take a look, the next 3 are all 67. So not only is it the highest on the indicator, it's the highest indicator by 70%. So if you think about that plus or minus 3 is what we're saying back on that, even if I drop that 74 by 3% to 71, add 3 to 67, there's still a difference there that tells me that people are looking at this higher education and maybe more positive way than maybe other than the list. So you can kind of see access to higher education is there. And again, the other thing that you can see here is 4 years ago, access to higher education was significantly down. It's gone up 3 years in a row to get to that highest point that it is now. That 74% is the highest that we've ever seen in the last. Public outdoor opportunities. That's second. It's traditionally in the top 5 or top 6 each year. But notice the difference there. You see the increase in what people think about education. Outdoor education or outdoor recreation opportunities is pretty flat. There's a little bit of fluctuation, but you don't see that positive trend in that same line. One thing I'll say is out of these 6 cities, 5 of the 6 cities were in the top 6 last year. The only one that was not in the top 6 last year was Cleveland, New Hampshire. For some reason, you can see there was 2 years ago, in 2015, Christian Council was actually about 7%. Last year it dropped down to 69% and then rebounded back up to 67%. I'm not sure what, we didn't ask why, but for some reason last year, opinion of Christian Council dropped, went right back up and the third highest rated again this year. A couple of the other interesting ones that I see, look at quality of the environment. 4 or 5 years ago, it's down around 50, and now it's up in the 70s, mid-60s, so in the top 5 there. Similar with quality of education, 4 or 5 years ago, it's down, and let's say 37, haven't taken that down a few years ago. So you can kind of see where those things lie, not only in relationship to the others now, but you can see where were they 4 or 5 years ago. Again, here's a repeat goal to show you guys. This one's the concept idea of availability of good jobs. The other thing I really want to point out here is these are the negatively perceived. Well, many of these, if you look at the bar graphs, are dropping. So you see that real estate taxes, left 4, left 4, left 4. So a lot of these over the last 5 years, even though they're more negatively perceived, that negative perception has backed off of it. So even though they're not the top, they're not looking at it necessarily the positive way, the negative aspect is dissipated a little bit in this one. Availability of jobs, goals, strengths, we talked about this. We just want to put this in here to remind you, this was one of those things we definitely saw was something that this economic one that we notice is the overall state of the local economy. Okay, so instead of jumping to jobs, we said look at the local economy, and you can see by the line graph, excellent good last year, we reached an all-time high, and excellent good when we had 36%. It maintained that 36% for the second year in a row. So it didn't go up, it didn't go down, but that all-time high we hit last year, it stayed there. It didn't come back up. So the same thing with the core. Last year we had an all-time low at 4, and again, it still had the same 17%. So things haven't changed. They had reached an all-time high and it's maintained that level for another year in a row. The interesting one here I would take a look at is take a look at the regional comparison. Excellent or good, Lewis County and Jefferson County are very similar, and if you look at St. Lawrence County, it's much, much lower. So more than 1 in 3 people in both Jefferson and Lewis County are looking at excellent good, and it's only 1 in 5. And again, same thing with the core, you can see a much higher rate in St. Lawrence County than you see here in Jefferson County. Healthcare, the next 2 slides are about healthcare. One thing to note with healthcare is both healthcare access, which is on this slide, and healthcare availability, which is on the next slide, both hit all-time highs in terms of poverty. Healthcare access is rated as excellent or good by 60% of people for the first time. The first time it's hit 60% in national news. The other thing we notice is the poor is down to 11%, lowest it's ever been. So again, if you look at it at this point, it's a 6-to-1 ratio. For every 6 people that rated as excellent or good, looking at poverty, there's only 1 person that's looking at the negative. Take a look at the graphs are very similar. Toggle back, that was healthcare access, that's healthcare quality. Very, very similar. You can see that same positive trend. Again, this one for the first time ever hit 60%. The lowest down at 10%, this is from 16 So again, what you're seeing is all-time highs in terms of what people are thinking about healthcare. Access to higher ed. I pointed this one out as being the most positively perceived one. Again, what we can notice is in the last couple of years, you can see this has really got that downward trend. The boards have still see a downward trend, but again, what's happening there is people are shifting either from the no-no or the bears into that positive light. So rather than looking at the neutral light, we're looking at more positive. So again, just to see, you can see a difference here. We saw on the previous slide more similarities between Lewis County and Jefferson County. Now, when you look at access to higher ed, you see more similarities between St. Lawrence County and Jefferson County. Which makes sense based upon which sometimes we like to see because what it does is it helps us feel good about, yes, we are collecting good data. I saw something where St. Lawrence County was way low and Lewis County was way high, and it's like we're doing something wrong because I wouldn't expect access to higher ed to be one more high than one. This one I'm going to say don't even worry about me. But again, this is one of the questions we've had for 10 years, and what we ask is this is the only open-ended question we ask. There is no open ended. But on this one, what we do is we ask them, what is the largest issue facing the nation right now? So we don't give them a list and say, take from these, we just say what it is. And really what we're going to see here is that, and maybe I can tell you, the cheapest line, that line right there is economy gap. So when we first asked this question back in 2009, we probably can't read it, but 81% of people responded that economy gap. So 10 years ago, the thing that unprovoked at the top of the economy job, here in 2018, it's down to 10%. So that's dropped 70 percentage points over the last 10 years. Rather than try to get you to squint and see some of those things, what we've done is we've blown up that last part. Again, we want to show you the first part so you can see where it started. So what you can see here is, for years and years and years, economy and jobs was the top choice of what is the largest issue. Last year, for the first time ever, it wasn't top choice, and actually went down to third on government leadership and drugs. You'll notice that it's still third, but notice economy and jobs have dropped. Notice government leadership has dropped a little bit, and drugs have also dropped, but notice that the gap between those has gotten bigger. So less people are identifying economy and jobs, you've got government and leadership there. Again, another thing, we talked about this a little bit earlier when we first went to school on board. One of the things that popped up that, again, we have about 20 to 25 items in our list for students to start on based upon previous year's results. And every year school has something that just pops up to create a new item. The politically polarized society was not an item that we saw in past years. So this is something that totally unprovoked, that people recognize that one of the issues that we have right now is the politically polarized society. So that was a totally category that we had not had in past years. A lot of times if we have 1 or 2 people that, say something different than our list, we can find a way to support it. But in this case, the numbers are just so overwhelming. We say, well, 4% is that overwhelming. Well, 4% of nearly 600 is a sizable number. It wasn't 4 out of 100, it's 4 out of 600. It's talking about 24, 25 different people identify that aspect, so that's something that actually popped up in again, we don't ask this question in Lewis County, we have something a little bit different, but we do have to, in St. Lawrence County, we see some things that parallel and very similarly, and other things that are different. So for example, government leadership, exactly the same thing as what drugs, very similar to 15 to 13. Economy and jobs, down to 10%, a little bit higher in St. Lawrence County, but probably in the expected based upon some of the things that we saw in the previous slide that recognize. Moral issues higher in Jefferson County than St. Lawrence County. Healthcare is a much higher issue, was a much higher issue last time we had the issues on last week. Gun control issues, talked about this time, and again, there's a list of more Saudi, which was introduced new this time in Jefferson County, and it actually popped up to a lesser degree, but it did pop up in St. Lawrence County.
A couple of things that I saw as Larry was just talking right there are, wow, I went way back. I would hope after the vote that happened earlier that that'll be a great thing. You know, we talked about, I talked about ways to frame a statistic, and one of them I said there was to set a target. I certainly am going to be really interested the next time we survey in Lewis County to see if access to higher education based upon what we just proved. Is it going to still be as low as 47%, which they actually good, or are we going to see that guy on move? Again, if we weren't monitoring and measuring these things over time, then we wouldn't have the ability to do any type of evaluation and look for potential impact and change. So that one jumps out at me. It certainly says, yep, you just voted on putting some bricks and mortar, a place over there with higher education more available. And the other thing that jumps out at me is technically that number right there, you know, I know our audience here. We're talking to a bunch of folks in government and leadership positions. Technically what that was 11% of the people that we talked to said inefficient, ineffective government and leadership. And the other 11% flat out said the two words down front. So what we did is collapsed it together and said, well, that's still saying government and leadership. We do have one of the indicators, as you know, every year that is county level government. We didn't put that slide in here. But if you wanted to dig through a report, or if you want to open it up later and take a look and see if things have changed, if we have looked in the position, then we can actually look at that. But there wasn't anything that came out that said, oh, government leadership, or excuse me, county level government, nor village or town or city level government, there was no big change. If there would have been, we would have put it in as one of these slides. So Larry just finished the idea of our key indicators that we measure each year. The focus there is quality of life. And what we've done now is put some other ones in that we've measured recently. And you might recall last year, poverty, alcohol abuse, heroin and opiate abuse, prescriptive drug abuse is new this year. We added those for 3 years in a row. And what's come out there they've seen is clearly amongst those four. And you might remember last year we also had criminal acts. We also had mental illness. This year our board said, why don't you take a couple of those off and add prescription drug abuse. So what can you see in here? If you take major and moderate and put them together, 65, 65, 77, 72. What comes out of there is the perceived most severe of those four is clearly heroin opiate abuse. Well, we've seen that for 2 years leading up to it. So this year we also asked some questions that are not in this presentation results, but they get at the idea of satisfaction number of services available for those addicted to heroin or opiates, satisfaction quality of services available, support versus opposition for increased funding for those. So again, we're giving you the highlights. I'm trying to encourage you to potentially think about digging in deeper. So perceived severity, what we did on the next slide is, this is so much smaller here than it was in the classroom. That's poverty, major, moderate, minor. That's alcohol abuse, major, moderate, minor. You can see major and moderate were the most common responses. Then when you get to heroin and opiate abuse, clearly it becomes more on the major than major and moderate being similar. So we've seen that, and then we also look at the different counties. Poverty, again, consistent with what Larry was talking about. You see how tremendously different that blue bar is versus the red and green. The folks up north are much more likely to say that poverty is an issue than the folks around here. Again, I don't want you to hear coming out of our mouths tonight that all of a sudden it's become the nirvana of everybody being rich, famous, and affluent in Jefferson County. But if you put some perspective around it, there is a clear difference. Larry's ±3, ±3. And then you take a look at alcohol abuse. And then you look at heroin and opiate abuse, all of a sudden there's not as much of a dramatic difference between the three counties. That's what I see on that graph. So what are these two slides are going backwards on now? That's perceived severity of those four issues. Larry, how about you do this one? Now it is, have you been personally impacted? Yes or no question.
All right, so if you look at personally impacted, what we notice when you look at the perceived severity, much higher levels, you see a big difference between heroin and opiate abuse and the others. That one tends to be a little bit higher, especially when you look at just the major compared to the others, there's no major and moderate. If you look at these, there's not as much difference among personal impact. If you look, the highest number there is 27, the lowest number there is 21. And if we went back a couple of slides, you'd see a much bigger difference than just 6% between the lowest and the highest. So when it comes down to it, the perception is that heroin and opiate abuse is much higher, but if you look at the personal impact that people reported, there's not as big a difference. And again, notice that heroin and opiate abuse is number one. Alcohol abuse is number one. Now, if you do the plus minus 3, they're overlap, so they're really not all that different. But if you look, on the ones that we talked to, alcohol abuse is actually one of the highest. So again, there's not as much difference in the personal impact opposed to the actual perceived severity impact. And this is not something that's new this year. We've seen that the last 3 years, that amongst perception, there's always been a much higher perception that there was an issue with heroin abuse when it comes to the actual reported impact. Now again, remember, these are reported issues, and again, it might say, they're probably more likely to talk the truth about whether we think it's a major, minor, or minor, opposed to whether you're willing to admit somebody on the phone, whether you personally impact. So again, keep in mind that this isn't something we haven't gone to the doctor, we haven't gone to that, this is just asking the person for their opinion, so keep in mind this is self-report. So again, are people just as likely to self-report as maybe not. So again, keep in mind these are self-report, so you might have some.
I know I'm not the only one who's wondering if we can keep this in next year and see if that trend is going to continue. If there were no significant change, then it should be equally likely that by random chance it goes up and down each year. The trend of going up, up, up is like flipping a coin, and so I don't want to sound too much like I'm in class, but like flipping a fair coin and going head, head, head. If that continues to go up, then it starts to say, okay, we really do have a likelihood of pattern going on. So that's the personally impacted when you take a look across the counties, and again, you see not as dramatic, but slightly more in St. Lawrence County than what we see in the other two counties. And this is the third metric that we've talked about with sports one, I guess. We already looked at availability for the job local, we looked at the overall state of local economy, and then Larry had the one of 81% going down to 10% as the largest 50 cities residents of our nation. We've asked this for 10 years. What is your personal financial situation in your family? How has it changed the last 12 months? And again, look at the gray bar for worse. That's the lowest rate we've ever measured of someone. 1 out of every 7 people now says, my personal financial situation is getting worse in my family. It was almost up to 40% earlier on. And getting better, this is close to the highest that we've ever had. Clearly the ratio of places likely 27 to 13 is the largest we've ever had. So again, is it saying things are perfect? No. But is it saying now that we can frame it with some other years' results, the data collected the same way? Yes. What did we do on this one? This is what the crosstabs look like, and I threw these 3 red boxes in there. And what I'd like you to see is that this is changing, this is the row of getting better as you get to higher and higher income families. We have not proven cause and effect. We don't know which would be the cause and which might be the effect. But there's irrefutable, look at the different letters there, A, B, C. There's irrefutable evidence that the folks who are in a higher income bracket, 46% said better and only 7% said worse. The folks in the lower income bracket, pretty much equal distribution. one person could certainly conjecture that the cause is to that investment, so that then you do better. Another person could conjecture you did better, and that got you into the higher income bracket. What we don't have is a causal model developed here, but it certainly correlation is necessary to establish cause. And you can see the age one. That might be equally consistent. Let's get older. 18 to 29, 30 to 49, 50 to 59, 75. That doesn't look like random change to me. That looks like a pattern going on. Let's look at education impact. If you have no college, if you have some college, if you have no supported degree. Interesting thing if you take that plunge and dig down and dig deeper into our data. There's a whole lot there, and I hope you will. So that's the personal financial situation. You want to tackle this one, or the conservative versus liberal? So I'll keep the pointer, you speak.
All right. Full self-disclosure, when Joel had me look at the slides to be prepared, I asked him, what is this one in for? And he said, it's going to lead to the next slide. So, not that there's anything, unusual that we see here, but again, a couple things that are left in here is, what you'll see is conservative 35%, liberal 13%. I don't think that's shocking to anybody based upon our culture in New York. So you can see what the numbers are. I don't think it's unexpected either. So again, what we're looking at, really what we like to notice here is that it looks like we're getting a representative sample that we have about, not quite, but pretty close to a 3-1 ratio of conservative. So again, it's just kind of it's a check for us to say, yes, it looks like we're hitting the population. Now again, further looking at a little bit further, if you look at the St. Lawrence County representation, you'll notice that the percentage that are self-disclosing is a little bit higher than you probably would expect because of what we've done. So again, for us as researchers, we look at this almost as a self-test and say, yep, it looks like our methodology is working. We're getting representative samples. So the reason for this is for the next slide. Okay, so this is a question that, as you can see, we asked for a 5-year stretch, and then we took a couple years on. And we're just saying, how would you rate the job that Andrew Cuomo is doing with governing the state? Again, if you look at it, there are some changes from what we had 3 years ago. The biggest change, if you look, is really that back in 2015, the don't know was at 3%, now the don't know about 16%. But if you look, some of the other numbers have dropped, but it doesn't look like they proportionally, almost it's not exactly proportionally, but each of them has dropped a little bit. If you look, the excellent really hasn't changed all that much, but the fair and the board, it looks like they've adjusted from the fair and board almost things you don't know. Probably the explanation I would probably say for that, why do some of the people that don't know is remember that a couple years ago, a couple years ago we started surveying on four drums. So again, in 2015 we didn't go to four drums, we did everything after military, now we have them, that's why they did they're gonna, and I think Joel said there were students out there to give them, conducting the interview and the number of those they would say who is that before. We just don't know. So yeah, I think it's literal progress to shift. I think the next slide gives us a little more insight. Joel today, did a check on the Canada Research Institute. They asked this question back in April. And what you'll notice is when you take out our don't know, and you scale it back, the numbers that we got for upstate New York are almost identical to the numbers that we only got in April, which is 111, 12. Yeah, we collected that almost that same week, the week before that. So we collected it almost exactly the same time, and our numbers are very, very similar when we take out the numbers. So again, it shows that, it validates, at least for us, it validates what we're looking at. We did another one across that. You notice this one is by the traditional research before. We did it by political belief to see if there's a difference. And you can clearly see that conservatives are rating the job that Cuomo is doing at a quarter twice as high as even though they're over. So you can see that if you look at their, how they identify as either political or liberal, there's definitely a differing opinion on how they believe it's done.
All right, back to the question, for two reasons, not end of life, because it's exciting, it's awesome, but the reason it's awesome is because, as I mentioned to you, we try to partner with agencies and groups in Jefferson County. We're very lucky, to our knowledge, and we've been to conferences all over the country, there is not another community college in the United States that is lucky enough to have what we've been allowed to have, the Center for Community Studies, where we get to get our students involved, not as graduate students, but as undergrads. Are you a freshman or sophomore? Oh my God. Neither of the above. You was. That's right. I remembered you in your cap. Okay. So as a sophomore, Madison got to get involved in real human subject research. And so what we really like is the idea that we get to work with agencies and get our students involved. And so I asked Madison, I gave her a heads up before tonight, because I didn't really want to catch her completely off guard. But what we do with this is, as I mentioned, we had 70 students work on this with the data question with us. There were probably another 1, 2, 3, 4 classes, so probably another 40 or 50 students who did not do what Madison did, which Madison could probably tell you which cubicle she spent the most time in over there. These other 40 or 50 students, what they also have to do is everyone has to do an analysis and write up a project. Now, what I do in my classes is I say, you do realize that the quickest way to get an F in my course is if you live next door to Scott Gray to go release the results and let him in the scoop before I roll them out. So they're all sworn to the idea of they can't release the results, but they turn into a project. So what I said to Madison today is I said, do you remember, what you did? Do you remember what your project was on? And she said, of course, yes. And guess what topic Madison picked to write up a project for me about? Mr. White, technically. She took the class from another professor. She looked at end-of-life preferences. So let me show you what you're going to see in the next 3 slides. Our results where we looked at 575 folks in the community. And the first question was, if you were given a diagnosis of a terminal illness, which do you think would be a higher priority for you? I know you can't read it. That one is medical care that prolongs my life. That one is medical care that makes me pain-free and comfortable. More than a 2-to-1, almost a 3-to-1 ratio, folks were more likely to say I want to be pain-free and comfortable than they are to say prolong my life. The second question was, people differ in their values about where they would prefer to spend the end of life. If you were given these choices, home, someone else's home, a nursing home, a hospice facility, a leisure spot, like at the beach where you want to be, 80% of the people said at home. So what I want you to recognize is this is looking at everybody all collectively. What it doesn't do is take a look at drilling down deeper to see if different types of people believe differently about it. Guess what Madison did for a project for us? Madison decided to go in deeper. True? So in a moment, I'm going to let you tell about your project, Madison. So the last 3 questions are, have you personally done anything concerning your health care? Living will, healthcare proxy, or both? 42% of the people said yes, 44% said yes, 42% said no. And then finally what we asked was, in general, do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of hospice at Jefferson County? 69% of the people we talked to said favorable. 4% said unfavorable. I think from about 3 slides ago, Andrew Cuomo would like to have numbers like that. I don't think it was anything like 69 to 4. And then what I did is drilled down deeper and said, what if you have, that yes is you have used the services of hospice. If you drill it down to the people who are familiar with it by using it, it becomes 93 to 4. So the folks from hospice of Jefferson County now have some feedback on how are we doing? Are we doing well? Or are we doing really awful as we plan for the future? But what that didn't do is to use your words, Madison, talk to everybody just quickly about what did you dig down deeper and look at? So what she did is took some of those other questions earlier about healthcare access and healthcare quality and subdivided by that. That sounds like rather than subdividing by male, female, old, young. You remember any of the findings that occurred? What did you see?
For both of those, it was dependent if they wanted to go on the life and be comfortable with how they rated access. If they wanted to, if they rated healthcare access or quality as lower, they would want to be comfortable. They would want to go through trying to figure out how to follow it. And more people that rated healthcare access and quality as lower would want to be recommended.
Interesting hypotheses you had there. So what would, if you had one sentence or one statement, or you've got 5 minutes, so 1 minute, talk about your observations of doing the interviews and phone calls, what would you say? Did you ever get your head ripped off by anyone, or that wasn't the right answer, what typically happens?
Usually either people will hang up and start, some people are really nice, they'll go through it, you'll get people that actually call them back later, do something horrible, you get some people that are crazy about it.
Did you think it was going to be easy before you started, or? And what do you think now?
It's not bad once you get into it and you figure out, how you're comfortable talking to people, and once you get your range, because you're kind of on yourself, you usually want to talk to you, so your customer service voice comes out about being more comfortable.
That was a good answer, because I would have said my observation was oftentimes they see students like managers that the only reason they show up, we offer them 6 things. We pay them, we feed them, we'll write letters of recommendation, they put it on their resume. We also offer them fun, but we also offer a few bonus points. And there are students who show up that like the bonus points. Maybe they don't, I just want to get my grade. And after a couple nights, I see them grow and become where they're comfortable at it, good at it, and that's why we're so proud of the data. In the past, I've had people say to me, are you kidding me? You only have the Madisons of our community, the 19th, the 20-year-olds doing the data collection, and I say, you know what? Well, we have college-educated 20-year-olds who are way better than the typical employees that are sitting in a sweatshop house somewhere in other places where I've done sabbaticals at. So I'm really proud of what we get a chance to do. And again, you deserve a lot of credit for supporting what we are allowed to do at the college. It doesn't just affect us. So I know we're out of time, so I'm just going to click quickly through the last slide where we also asked some questions on behalf of Thompson Park. And basically, we gave them 4 potential improvements, which would increase your use of the park, and you can see better bathrooms was the #1 hitter. But then we forced them to make a choice, because somebody could say, yep. Everything will make me happy to go there. You say, well, pick the top hitter. And guess what? It wasn't bathrooms anymore. It was right down there, the #1 additional marked trails was the one that if you were forced to make only one choice, it got the largest contribution. Similarly, the folks from Friends of Thompson Park wanted to know about free concerts. And they say, which would you attend? Papa rock, country, jazz, or classical? And you can see Papa rock got the most interest. And again, if we said if you could only choose one, those are the 2 top hitters. And that's me and my number and email. And that's Larry and his number and email. We've never been known to leave extra time left over, but if you still have any questions, you take them quick before we do our finishing one more time. Thank you. If you have any questions, it's certainly your profile. Maybe the point for does that include also foreground? When you say foreground, are you finding physical locations? Because there's a lot of military people in the community, so are they part of the community when you foreground? We still get them via the telephone when they're in the community, but what it boils down to is when there are about 15,000 guys, military, and their dependents call it 25,000. Well, there's only 90,000 adults, as you know, in your county. So that means they account for about 30% of it. And when we do the telephone methodology, we don't get them at 30% rate, but we get some. So what we do is we basically set our target number of interviews when we go out there to be how many do we need to interview. But if somebody's an employee there and they're not active military, we'll still take them. They're still a resident of our county, we'll still take them. So it doesn't exclude anybody, but what we're trying to do is ensure that we do represent them proportionally in our sample. You know, it'd be just like if Bobby Ferris went and did a poll in the town of Watertown to find out how he's going to do if he's running for re-election, and 95% of the people who took the poll were Democrats. You know, would that be a fair assessment of who you think is going to turn out on election day? I don't think anyone would agree with that. So what you try to do is take sampling that represents the population that would show up on election day. We want sampling that represents the population of what the census says really does live in our county. Now, where do we miss? We always get more women than men. Where do we miss? We always get more older folks than younger. Where do we miss? We always get a higher rate of bachelor's degree or above than what is really here. And that's where you use what are called post-gratification weight levels. So Well, the problem is with the military, if you have only 4% in your sample to the military, and they're supposed to be 30%, the weight algorithms don't work. They diverge. So your only solution to taking care of that sampling error is improve your design, which is what we've done. What we try to do. Yeah. Are there questions about methodology, the fun stuff of how we get this data?
Well, I'd like to follow up with knowing how you filter it out in the court. Certainly, anything that jumps out and folks are looking at the population, or pretty much in line?
I'll give it a first shot. I'll give it a first shot. If you take a look, here's your homework. I can't help it, I'm a professor. Your homework is when Mr. Hagman prints up a copy, because we didn't bring enough printed copies to give everybody the full copy, you'll get the PDF by either emailing me or Corey and Bob each got it. It's 120 pages. But your homework is, if you looked at those 21 indicators at the beginning and looked over there to where the three groups are active military and household, you have a job support drum, related but not active military, and then no connection here in the military. Those are the three groups. And what I observed was across the board on the indicators, watch it not be too ugly. What I observed since I spent the last 2 weeks very inconsistent, what is it? Availability job? Well, that might be your two better in the military organization that you got. But take a look at quality environment. Take a look at solution design control. Take a look at job analysis. Take a look at county government. Take a look at all the indicators that what we keep doing. They tend to be very positive. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think it's not universal, but for the most part, they tend to be more positive than the non-military.
So it's the second part to my homework. First part to my homework would be, if you opened it up and looked at that, then you would be able to learn and teach yourself. The second part's more important. We had questions on there on behalf of Hospice of Jefferson County. We had questions on there on behalf of the City Watertown Government and Friends of Thompson Park. In the past, we had some airport questions, you might remember, on behalf of people. I implore, I almost beg, it makes our job easier and better when we're teaching the Madisons of the world, when we have questions that really do make a difference in the decisions that you're going to make. So put it in your phone. Put it in your calendar in your phone. This says next year on April 1st, my homework is due. And I'm going to give you 5 survey questions to Joel, and they should be completely butchered, double-barreled, incoherent. It doesn't matter. As long as it has the concept in there, then let Larry and I operationalize them. And I think all of the groups, you win, the community wins, Larry and I win because it's fun. I enjoy talking about the hospice ones because they're new. They're different. They're like a scavenger hunt. So my homework is, if you can give us questions, we absolutely will do it. And there's no invoice. It's the best kind of question. You should have heard the people in St. Lawrence County go, woo! Cut that from the film, okay? But seriously, there will be no invoice. They don't charge you for the question or anything. If you think they're not easier, better, more fun, and more influential, and I'm being sincere. And then the last thing would be, I've said it twice already, but I'll say it the third time. I've been around here a long time, and one of the main things that keeps me coming back is because we have the great support and partnership with you and the administration of the college and the students, and I think it's a great thing that we'll keep doing. I hope. I guess the last thing, you can explain it better than me, that how do they really get access to this report because of the Americans with Disabilities Act? We can't put our report on our website anymore.
Well, we can. We can, but the problem is the cost to be able to take that 120-page PDF and make it ADA compliant. I don't know the numbers, but I think it's in thousands. It's in the thousands of dollars to take that report. The issue is we have so many tables in there that need to be described. Every table, every graph we put in there has to have a description of what it shows. So somebody, either Joel or I, would have to go through, and again, we're talking about 400, maybe not 400, between 300 and 400. And again, the cost to have it done they gave us a quote of the cost, and then we said, do we really want to have somebody else trying to interpret the draft that has probably very little or no background and who knows what it was? So the cost is very different, so we can't just post it. What we're going to do is we're going to post our summer.
All right, so let me give a little bit of background. There's a group that is suing SUNY, and they went and they looked and they ran, there's an ADA compliant software, and they went to every one of the 60-plus SUNY schools, and nobody's website is compliant.
Okay.
Our plan right now is you email me, and it's compliant if I email back with it, because it's not posted on our website. But we can no longer post a PDF on our website. That's a great idea. We don't mind sharing it and putting it there. But we can't just drag it like we have always with the thumbnails. You click on it, there's the PDF. So it's going to be harder for you to do your homework now, okay? You're going to have to go to the JCIGA, you're going to have to go to wherever. Does that make sense, or was it convoluted what we were saying about being out of compliance? And we're not the only college, and we're not the only spot.
Every 2 and 4 year school is different.
I'm at least interested with Tanya Tanya's last name. Tanya's on our board, just walked out of the meeting with a copy of it. So she's already active there. And then Eric Wagner, they're both on our board, so they have it and are disseminating. We don't directly send it to the spot there, but certainly there's no limit to where it can go. The only limit is students while they're in my class. It's quite universal that the folks who indicate that they're here because of Fort Drum, when they evaluate our community, whether it's healthcare, education, government, yes, county government, local government, availability of jobs, all those things, they're very irrefutable. No reasonable person would look at that and say, oh, it just happened on that one question. It's happening across the board. They're pretty darn happy with the community and environment that's around them. Well, I have to follow up because I always want to call him Eric Henderson. Eric Wagner asked 2 further questions. He asked us to ask any of the folks who have active military in the household 2 questions. 1, what one item that were improved in your community would increase the likelihood that you stay here and live here permanently after leaving the military? And then the next one is, instead of what one item that currently exists, what one item, if it were added, would make the difference. And there was a sizable group that did say, I don't want to make it sound like it's perfect, but did say it could be anything. That was about 25% of people. But the top 2 to both of those questions were more and better jobs and more and better recreation opportunities. Third-party homework, right in the report. That was only asked to the current military. So we're really trying to partner with them and provide data. We'd love to partner more with you folks. Oh, great. That's great to hear. Thank you so much.
So last year, I looked into some of the stuff and I'm going to bring it up. One of the things that I noticed, I think that people who are irritated with these things, this is a bad thing. I think they're a little bit more. And I looked at some of the negatives. What I saw, my interpretation of some of the data, I think there is a hope for that. I think that you let it be
that dichotomy is even more dramatic. There are 5 colleges in that county, and all the employees that go along with it. But there's a whole lot outside of those 5 colleges. You see extreme differences when you cross-tab it by education level. The more highly educated in St. Lawrence County have completely different education opinions, perceived severities, and even exposure to and all those things. I mean, yeah, it's pretty irrefutable. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is really great questions that you have. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And Madison, thank you for coming on your summer vacation and being here. She's one of 70 of them that I just happened to see her and said she'd be a great one. But we're really proud of what they do there.
Other questions? I'd like to thank Madison, Joel, and Larry for the comprehensive report. It's good that nothing's glossed over in these. That's the good part, is because when you have to look introspectively at community as someone, as legislators, it's good to see where, not that, it's good to see that where you've made things that have improved it, or things that need improving, and it opens people's eyes up when you can say all day long, we need to invest in this, we need to invest in this, and then this data comes back, and you see that trend, and it opens people's eyes up that may not have been able to go along with certain initiatives. So I want to thank you. On the Fort Drum piece, you know, it's not surprising when you see the attendance at yellow ribbon events and things, and it's a big compliment that people would want to stay here. I know that 25% said definitely not, but that, as far as statistics go, that leaves a lot of room for people that do want to. And when you're out at a grocery store and you see someone from the military and they say they like the schools, they like the fact that people with children have invited their children in on deployments, and it's a big compliment for Jefferson County as a whole. So I was pleased to see some of those good numbers there. But thank you again. It's a very comprehensive report, and just not glossing over anything, just telling it like it is. So appreciate that.
Everyone around here, and have a great rest of your summer. Do your homework, and we'll see you. I can't do this. Okay. April 1st should be, what do they call it, Tickler or something in your phone, and send us survey questions, and we'll put them on there.
Thanks again, the group from JCC. Right now, I guess we're good to go into the resolutions.
First resolution this evening is authorizing a lease agreement with St. Lawrence Seaway RCA Cellular Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless for the use of tower space at the Public Safety Building radio transmission tower.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Cantwell? Mr. Maxon? Discussion? Mr. Maxon?
Thank you. How did we come, maybe Joe, you would know, how did we come up with the dollar figures? Is this did we have a middleman arrange these numbers? Are they market rent? Are we getting a good deal? Are we giving away the farm? I like context.
Hey, Joe, when you're up there, you might want to shut the door so they can do their...
Sure.
If you would, please. Tell them they can come back in. It's not close.
We've been working with these guys for a long time. They reached out to us about this. It's actually in my opinion, a really good deal for us. They're actually going to be putting about $40,000 into our tower to beef it up for their use and for ours. The numbers-wise, I ran the whole agreement over time through Blue Wing, our radio engineer, who they've actually had a lot of experience in this telecom business. Mark Hoppy, who everybody here has met for the most part, his father started in that business, building towers just to sell vertical real estate off on type thing. And basically what Mark came back with and told me after he looked at everything is that between the $40,000 that they're putting into our real estate for us and what the markets are with everything, that's a very fair number out of the whole situation. We have talked to them about back and forth about the 5-year rollover, about how much the increase is. We've negotiated to 10% at this point type thing. And basically the bottom line of it is it's not cost us anything, really. It's actually saved us some money with the new project and everything. And we're going to plan on keeping that fund separated so we show it in the budget towards our radio communication system, because we're going to have some pretty big bills with that for maintenance and stuff as that goes. So that's really where that number came in at, is that Verizon threw it out there. We had Blue Wing look at it, negotiated it up a little bit type thing, and that's where we've kind of settled.
Is there any kind of exclusivity, or can Sprint, AT&T come along and also rent?
The real bottom line of it is the room. We're that tower, even with their putting their additional stuff into it, and with what we're going to be putting on it for the new project, it's pretty well going to be filled. That tower itself will be engineering standards, because that tower has been there since the Public Safety Building was built in 1992-ish, somewhere in there. So it's not built to the standards our new stuff is being done to, all that kind of stuff. So that one is basically is going to be full, basically. As far as the other towers, as we move forward with that, we do need to talk about working some policy out with that of who it's going to be. We're not going to be exclusive to anybody as that stuff goes, but we do have some legwork to figure out on that of who, what, when, where, how any of that happens.
In this particular case, for the life of the agreement, we're just under $1 million that will be received from the company.
Oh, I take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions? Thanks, Joe. Further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next resolution is authorizing Jefferson County to be the lead agency under the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the purpose of the 2018 Jefferson County Snowmobile Trails GPS update, minor reroutes, and additions pursuant to the New York State Snowmobile Grant and Aid Program, and making a determination of non-significance.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Doldo, Mrs. Adsett. Discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing agreement in relation to the state alternatives for incarceration pretrial release program funding.
Can I have a motion, please? Mr. Maxon, Mr. Doldo. Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next is amending the 2018 county budget in relation to the county road fund.
Have a motion, please? Mr. Doldo, Mr. Cantwell. Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, amending the 2018 county budget and capital plan in relation to the county bridge account.
May I have a motion, please? Ms. Abbott, Mr. Doldo. Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing conveyance of unused county highway land in the town of Brownville to David M. Greensian.
Greeneisen. Motion, please. Mr. Cantwell. Mr. Doldo. Discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Modifying the 2018 Stop DWI plan and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
May I have a motion, please? This is at Mr. Doldo. Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing agreements for additional allocation for the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee Stop DWI Crackdown Enforcement Grant and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Cantwell. Mr. Doldo. Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. In your packet, we have a weights and measures report. I do want to thank our department heads for showing up and making themselves available and being engaged with the committee. I want to thank you all for that. It's greatly appreciated. Does anybody have any questions for any department heads? Okay, and then we've got some good airport news.
Yes, we just got the report from the airport for the month of May. Passenger ridership is up 11%. So we're now at, for the past month, 3,700 passengers. Only one other occasion, and that was about 3 years ago, was a little bit more, so this is the second highest production month for the month of May. So things continue to soar at the airport.
Also, the good news is we're doing well with the private aviation side of it too, which has really helped pay the bills and get the operating costs down. So appreciate everybody's efforts in that. Is there anything else, Mr. Hack?
No.
Anything else come before the committee? We'll send that report out tomorrow. We don't have it in front of us, but yes, we have some very good news for outboarding. We're below budget, and that just came in hot off the press today. And we'll get you that out via email. But thanks for reminding us, Scott. We'll plan on sending that to the entire board tomorrow. Anything else? Mr. Doldo.
Thanks. Just a question on that land transfer. Is this gentleman's whole property the only one that butts up against it, or?
You're talking about the highway piece?
Yes.
I think the answer is yes. Jim, that's correct, right? Yep.
Okay, so we're just turning it over at no cost?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, but the reverse is there's no maintenance responsibility on our end, so probably there's a cost saving ultimately.
We've done that at another time just to avoid maintenance costs, and it's kind of a wash. So, anything else? Okay, thanks again. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Maxon, Mr. Doldo, thank you. I know. Quite uncharacteristic, isn't it?
It comes with computer.
Yeah, guru. Yeah.